Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Guggins, Jots, Academy, Conants, and of course, shout out to all the creepy looking places, people lurking in the shadows for reasons we may never know because of alleged budget constraints. Welcome to today's video where, I guess, happy Relic Delta Eve. We need to talk. This is sort of more of a video for me, a man in the mirror type of moment, because, you know, there's some really cool stuff coming around the corner, but it's, as we know, it's sort of wrapping around a very concerning thing that we're going to be experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And I, especially for myself, as we're going to talk about the chirotech of life, we only get so much of it. And I want to make sure I'm putting out the best I can, whether it's this, YouTube, Galaxy Heroes, being a father, making a game, whatever it might be. And I kind of want to talk about more specifically Grand Arena and Relic Delta and all the other things that, in my opinion, have kind of ruined this game mode since its purest form, as we're going to discuss. But I digress. Let's get this ball going. I don't want to make this into like a doomsday melodramatic. No, I'm just throwing thoughts, my feelings. We'll have to wait and see how I feel, moving forward, especially with Grand Arena and Relic Delta. But in case you're in a cave in Tatooine, let me just quickly bring this up to you. We're expecting the biggest update in Galaxy Heroes history tomorrow. Wednesday days like tomorrow are our normal update day, and especially because we know, based off the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes trailer that was posted a little bit ago, Coliseum and other anniversary events are starting on November 18th. So that kind of lines us up. Well, tomorrow's going to be update day. So with that in mind, we know that Relic Delta is going to be around the corner, especially because we know that Relic 10 is going to be tied to the new game mode Coliseum, which I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping it's going to be a banger. I have to wait and see. I feel like some events are kind of missed. Like, the new raids definitely are nowhere near to what they were in the old days. And, we can go on and on and on. But this update, I got to give CG props. I may have burnt bridges with the Relic Delta beta test. I'm like, you guys sure you want my feedback? You guys sure you want me to know? Because I'm going to tell the people how I feel about it. I don't think they liked what I said about Relic Delta. I think they were looking for more like a yes men-ish type of response. So anyways, I digress. I will say this, CG. Although I'm not a fan of your Relic Delta at all, and I hope you guys appreciate my feedback on it, I can say this safely. This is the best thing you've ever done. You're rolling out one of the most unpopular things, and in your own words, a difficult change for Galaxy of Heroes. Difficult change to make. So you know that this is not a player-friendly thing. At least the way I'm reading this, it seems like, this is money over fun first. Okay, let's just cut to the BS. We know what type of game this is, okay? We all know how this goes, all right? But you guys did a masterclass PR job. I was actually surprised, because generally I feel like CG does a lot of slip-ups on PR, all that other stuff. But this is like the proverbial giving a pill to the cat, dog, kid, whatever. They don't want to take the pill by itself. You got to put the whipped cream and maybe put it into a cheese ball for your dog. Hopefully really positive relic changes, right? And then on top of that, we got ourselves the new Coliseum game mode. Not Chronoseum, no. That's the game that I'm working on. That's a different thing there. Anyways, moving on. It seems like it's going to be, people are going to start getting new characters at Gear 12 for free. That's awesome. And of course, the cherry on top of all the whipped cream, the pills, and the sprinkles and all that. The best banger era of units of all time. I think even CG knows the most fun this game is when you release all these one banger characters that just plug into a team we already have and it becomes so much better. I don't think people want to sit through 4 or 5 back-to-back full brand new teams that are mid and maybe become a little less mid when we finally get the full picture. Absolute home run, because now they could be like, you can't quit Galaxy Heroes over Relic Delta. We got all this for you. I do think if they didn't do it this way, the Relic Delta update would be a lot more detrimental to the game in many, many ways. But I think they did as best they could to cushion the impact by wrapping it with all this here. But with that in mind, yes, I'm excited for so much of this stuff. That's what I want to talk about. The things that keep me enjoying Galaxy Heroes. But I need to be real about the things that I used to enjoy about Galaxy Heroes. I feel like I'm enjoying less and less and less. And as we're going to talk about the chirotech of life, we only can apply chirotech to so many things. I don't know, kind of reflecting on Grand Arena, where it's heading and the overall impact, and maybe I just need to focus on other things that are more fun. I don't know. Again, let's chat more about this. So, all right, I was inspired to make this video because of my stream yesterday, actually. I didn't even like it. Gosh, I suck at this whole thing. There was a comment, shout out to Jalen, saying, I really enjoyed the free-to-play segment. It feels like so long since we got a Grand Arena, and you're very observant. And I was very transparent to comment it. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you love the free-to-play. Not much has happened. You got to farm all this chirotech. So, we don't see massive changes too frequently, right? It takes a while to get all the chirotech. But I was transparent. It's kind of one of those things, like if I don't have nothing nice to say, sometimes I just won't say it. I intentionally been skipping out on free-to-play Grand Arenas because I was getting burnt out. You know, especially from a streaming standpoint, it's not a ton of fun to be streaming something. It's like you open it up, it's like, well, that's GG's. I didn't even do a single battle, and we already lost massively because the matchmaking sucks. And we used to have Grand Arena in a perfect state, but let's stay on this for a second. I basically took the foot off the gas for the free-to-play Grand Arena, right? You know, it's just making sure I'm enjoying the game, and it wasn't enjoyable. And it's weird to say because I love Grand Arena, especially during the day where Grand Arena was at its peak. This is what Grand Arena should be, and it was. And I feel bad for those that weren't around. The most watched Grand Arena of all time. This is like, okay, maybe it's a bit hyperbolic, but in Concept Galaxy series, this is like watching the Super Bowl. And it's really unfortunate at Capital Games. Like if I'm making my own game, right? If I had something like this get, what was it, 250,000 views, I'd be like, holy crap, how do I do more of this? And the crazy thing is this wasn't even like done by Siege. It's just us as a community we put together. And I want to put this out there, a small tidbit. I pitched once upon a time to CG like, hey, I would be more than happy if you guys don't have the time, resources, energy, whatever, the care to do more tournaments of some sort. I'd be more than happy to host, take care of the logistics, but I need a way to get people to play with one another. They haven't taken me up on that. If they don't hate me and they want to, kind of explore that, I'd be more than happy to do so. Anyways, this is the closest Galaxy has been to an esports level in terms of competitive integrity. Yeah, I mean, of course, there'd be slight mod differences, things of that nature, but especially at Kyber 1, it was as close as you can get to competitive, to the competitive nature of what this is. And unfortunately, as we know, we've moved farther and farther away from that. Money-based matchmaking changed things. I can speak personally. My free-to-play account I was like 4 or 5 million GP. I was almost Kyber 1, almost there. Matchmaking changes come in, money-based matchmaking, prioritizing again, money over fun, kick me to Erodium. Climbing back up, back in Kyber on my free-to-play, Relic Delta is gonna absolutely murder him. And other things besides the matchmaking, you guys know, let's be real. Datacrons has overall negatively affected my enjoyment of Galaxy of Heroes. It just has. Of course, I am a big proponent of seasonal power. I think it's a lot of fun, not in the way Datacrons are. So I 100% agree. People are like, oh, Grand Arena would be boring without it. I do agree. I think seasonal power is great for Grand Arena, but not through the vehicle of Datacrons. Yeah, no. And I took a stand, as you guys know. I said I'm not going to spend money on Datacrons, and I didn't. Of course, people think if I don't spend money on something, it's going to change the system. It doesn't. I don't spend money on this, and yeah, it's still here. It's still here. I never had a maxed out Datacron inventory. Of course, I still get whatever I get through doing my conquest runs and whatnot without spending thousands and thousands of crystals specifically for Datacrons. But it overall negatively affected me. And I'm worried that Relic Delta is going to do the same. And you guys may have seen me this past week really, maybe just not care about getting the W, which is kind of weird. And as we're going to talk about, I don't know if that's an enjoyable structure moving forward. But I was like, hey guys, Relic Delta's coming. Let's just screw around. I threw away pretty much every single Grand Arena this past week because I was just like, hey, I want to try this out. Jawas versus Queen Amidala. Let's do it. Things I know that are going to lose. I'm like, you know what? No, we're going to make it work. And it doesn't work, of course, because it's just the cards are stacked against whatever I was doing. But it was a ton of fun. And I had a lot of people saying, dude, this was so much fun. Just not caring, not freaking out about Datacrons, Relic Delta. My concern is we're going to talk about the Kyrotech of life a bit more. I don't know if that's an enjoyable thing to watch for every single stream, but it's a way for me to not get ticked off about the game because the way Grand Arena's designed, if you're not engaging in their monetized loop for Relic Delta, Datacrons, you're just not going to have as much fun in game modes like Grand Arena. So the best way to not get frustrated is by just not caring as much. And I don't know, that might be stupid for me to say because, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how to talk about this because, again, I don't want to say, oh, I'm done streaming Grand Arenas or whatnot. It's just, here's the thing. As you guys know, I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I don't tell you guys everything I'm doing, but you guys have seen a pretty big glimpse into my life, especially this past year. The number one best thing to happen in my life, period, was my beautiful daughter that was born. Here was us a few weeks ago at the apple orchard. She's almost 4 months old now, but this is closer to 3 months. The best thing ever, and this especially made me kind of reevaluate my Kyrotech of life, because when I say Kyrotech of life, Kyrotech is essentially time, but for real life. You only get so much time. Right? How are you going to use that time to maximize the happiness we have on this earth? Well, you guys may have seen one thing I've done is, well, I've stopped playing Grand Arenas on Saturdays, right? It's like, all right, I can either go to the apple orchard with my daughter for the first time, or I can stream another Grand Arena, or I can go spend time with my family that wants to be with me, my daughter, my wife, or I can play a Grand Arena I'm just going to probably get mad about with Relic Delta. So I just decided, all right, you know what? I'm going to take all that Kyrotech I could be streaming Grand Arena, and I'm putting it with my daughter because these are moments I'm never going to get back. She's only going to be this small for this long, and you blink, you miss it. So I've been really kind of been more cognizant with how I apply my character, because it's just very much like Galaxy Heroes. You only get so much. If you take all your card tech and you're trying to invest in 5 different teams at once, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to make any forward momentum. And of course, there's other things I'm applying my card tech in life, right? You guys may know I'm making my own game. This has been one of the most awesome experiences my past 10 years, just doing the YouTube side of things, being able to ideate a game, work with legendary developers in the industry. And just the other day, you know, this is only about like 30% done for this map that we're working on here. Being able to, for the first time, step into a world that I imagined in this early state and be able to pick up the weapons of my first character that I ideated, Barricade. It's been awesome. But again, to do this, to lead a studio, you know, lead the design, also work with all these people, many of the things that come with making a video game, you know, it takes Kyrotech to put towards, to make sure you're making the most of it. And I've been pouring my heart and soul to this game. It's been such an amazing time. So if you haven't, you guys go subscribe to the 25/8 Games channel. We've been making a lot of progress, and I can't wait to show you the next things that we're working on here. And also, you know, I do other things too. Like, you know, I have my Raid Shadow Legends channel that I've been doing for the past, you know, year and a half. When Galaxy Heroes is annoying me, Raid gives me what I want. Because one thing I wish Galaxy of Heroes had, and this kind of comes to, again, I wish Grand Arena is a bit different. You know, they gave me a sandbox mode. Some of my favorite games, Marvel Snap was, I hate to say, maybe I had to quit Marvel Snap because I was having too much fun and I was addicted. It was taking so much of my time and I couldn't sleep because I was having too much fun staying up all night playing the game. But I was able to just keep theory crafting, testing out new things. It sucks in Grand Arena where I have to sacrifice a win to just test out like one battle with a new character. It's not fun. So lately I've been just getting more fun, just screwing around, just kind of shooting to win, not really caring as much. But I don't know if that's going to be enjoyable because it's like, if you're watching the NFL, you're watching your team, whether the Bears, I don't know, the Patriots, you know, the Packers, Lions, whatever it might be, you kind of want to watch the win. So I don't know if it's enjoyable from a streaming aspect. So this is where I've been kind of reflecting, just like the Kyrotech of life that I'm applying to all these other things, whether you're seeing it behind the scenes, whatever it might be. It also comes down to, what do I do with Galaxy of Heroes, right? And I wonder oftentimes, you know, again, I'm not saying I'm going to stop streaming Galaxy of Heroes. I'm definitely at the minimum. I foresee, even if I hate Relic Delta and it ruins Grand Arena to its fullest extent, I'm still gonna be streaming like new characters because I find that fun. Getting new characters, it's a new, unique experience. Whereas Grand Arena, it's like, all right, guys, we're gonna fight Mace Windu for the 20th time using Traya. Wow, wasn't that fun? Also, this is a very small tidbit. I feel like I've been enjoying Grand Arena less because I get the feeling that Siege doesn't even care. The leaderboards have been broken for, was it a year plus? You know, fine. 1 month broken, okay. 2 months, okay. We've been going on almost a year, and they still can't even be bothered to fix their leaderboard. This is what really inspired me to take Grand Arena seriously. You know, I was tied for number 1, i.e. I made number 2. Whole different thing. But if they don't even care about Grand Arena, why should we? You know, this is just the way I interpret it. They're focusing on Relic Delta, but they can't even be bothered to fix their Grand Arena leaderboards. Not all these are broken, like, you know, Sasha, I played them before, awesome stuff. But most of these ranks are just completely broken. So things like that kind of ruin the fun of Grand Arena, aside from the Datacrons, the Relic Delta soon to come, the matchmaking. It just feels like they don't even care about this game mode. And I feel like I put more care, effort, production into this game mode than they do. So, I don't know. Let me try to bring this on home. I'm hoping that Relic Delta doesn't completely ruin the last bit of enjoyment I have with it. And I don't know if it does, if just streaming me screwing around, throwing Jaws against Queen Amidala is enjoyable for you guys. I mean, you guys let me know. But I often wonder if maybe instead of doing a stream and complain about Datacrons or Relic Delta, maybe I take that time and do, you know, update my team ranking that I'm behind, my character rankings, whatever it might be, the Zeta Omicron rankings, because, you know, as I said, I got a lot of stuff going on. And instead of streaming a Grand Arena, maybe other people just don't care about Grand Arena as much anymore. Maybe you're just taking the approach that maybe a lot of people are now. It's like, hey, you know, just try not to care as much about it because it's going to be just more stressful than it needs to be. And maybe I just make a video instead. Like this past week, I didn't stream Grand Arena, but I made a video that I think people cared way more about the Lightspeed tokens than maybe watching another Grand Arena where it's just another day using, you know, the same counter versus the same team. I don't know. I'm definitely going into rambling territory right now. All I'm saying is we need to find what makes this game fun for us. It sucks that Grand Arena, it's not what it used to be. Like, I think even if you are, I don't know many people are a mass fan of Relic Delta or Datacrons, I think you can admit if you were going to have an esports level type of game for Galaxy of Heroes where it could be streamed, watched, it would have to be in its pure form, right? You give a test account with all maxed out relics, no datacrons, you know, everyone of equal mods, they can decide how they allocate the mods. You know, it's just, we're so far away from Grand Arena being anything fun and competitive. It's, again, just money over everything at the end of the day. So all I'm saying is, I don't suspect my main account will feel too much of an impact of Relic Delta. Yeah, I'll probably got to take some things from 5 to 7, maybe 7 to 8, 8, 9, just to make sure I don't get hit too hard with the stick that they're whipping us with. But I'm not gonna lie, there's like a lot of days like I don't know if I want to do the Grand Arena. Maybe I just want to do I want to update my team rankings or something like that. Something I think is gonna be more fun, right? At the end of the day, I want to have fun playing this game, and I don't know. We'll see where things go with this here, but I don't know. Let me know. Maybe you guys do enjoy when I don't care about the W, but it's like I feel like that was the whole point of Grand Arena, and just screw around. We'll see how things go. But anyways, whenever Relic Delta hits, we're gonna feel how it is, see where it goes, and I don't know, maybe have that larger assessment. Like maybe I should just take the time and just, instead of streaming Grand Arena, you know, maybe we focus on a video. I'm not saying always not do Grand Arenas. Maybe we do it sometimes. These are all hypotheticals right now. Let's see what Relic Delta's like. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day, I think. But until then, let's just take it as it is. At the end of the day, come rain, come shine. Generally, what I find is that you and we still find ways of having fun, even though it seems like at times the developers are hell-bent to keep finding ways of extracting fun out. And again, I think this update's gonna have a lot of good stuff, but after the dust settles and we get the new characters, Relic Delta is gonna be here longer than the hype for the new Luke, the new Vader, right? So, well, we'll see how it goes. Thank you for stopping by. Like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing, and always remember, until we meet again, it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.